continually since 1913. And then you think about 1933, about the Emergency Banking Act that FDR implemented and shut down all banking for one day. And what did he do? He came back and he said, okay, now you can't all own gold. You can't. You bring all your gold in, or you will be arrested, in prison for 10 years, or $10,000 fine.
That's right.
And here's what we're going to give you back:
Yeah.
fiat paper, Federal Reserve notes. That's what we're going to give you back. No more gold certificates, because you couldn't redeem your certificates for gold any longer. And but of course, I don't want to get off on that, because we're saving the Federal Reserve for next week. Folks, that's just one of my.
That's
That's a big time pet peeve for a lot of people.
That's right, because if we don't break free from that, we will never have liberty. I'm telling you right now, if we don't end the Federal Reserve, we're never going to win. We'll never break free. We will always be chained.
You control the money, you control everything.
That's right.
And that's what they have. They have a what do you call it? A monopoly over the money.
That's right. And this brings me to Richard. Richard, we're bringing Richard back from last week. In fact, now he's paying me to come back. No, I'm just kidding. No, he really enjoyed himself. But Richard is he's like a lot of us. He's in there doing the research, right on top of things. It's really great to be around guys like you. I'm blessed to be around patriots like all of you. Trust me, I'm truly honored. It's more of an honor for me to be here with you guys than to be around a lot of other people or to be doing other things. This is really, I never expected, actually. Again, I want to thank my good friend John Sotler for allowing us this time on Wednesday night, for inviting us here and setting all this up. This is a great place, isn't it? I mean,
it's a nice
we have
forum.
A voice of freedom here.
Sure.
This is what this is all about, and that's why John started this as a voice of freedom. We just got to get him making some big money, right? 'Cause I want to see John driving up in his dream car out here, someday, because he deserves it. I mean, he really deserves it. Thanks, John. And maybe now during the break he's going to play the song I want, right? So anyway, I'll give him a hard time. But this comes to Richard. Richard, why don't you? You already introduced yourself, but let's hear about you again real quick.
Okay, my name is Richard Service, and I'm actually the treasurer for Dr. Marshall DeRosa's Senate campaign. And I actually just recently joined the Constitution Party myself, going on, I would say, about three weeks, I would think, about a month. It's right about the same amount of time that we've known each other.
Right.
Really, and it's been, I guess, an uphill battle all the way around, and exactly what you were saying. I'm glad that we're getting more people on board like this, and for all the people out there that are listening, join us.
Absolutely.
Join the fight. It's not just for us; it's for the whole country.
Well, did you ever read Ron Paul's book? What is it? Revolution.
Oh God, yes.
Revolution Manifesto.
Yes, the Revolution.
Yeah, and in there he actually has, I think it's on page 50, if I remember correctly. He has a very important statement on there. He talks about the Republican and the Democrat deceit over the years, and how they've deceived the American people for their own personal gain, and that they're going to continue to do it. Now, this is great, because Ron Paul actually endorsed our presidential and vice presidential candidate.
That's right.
Chuck Baldwin and Darrell Castle.
That's right.
He endorsed our candidate.
That's
he
right.
Didn't endorse McCain or anyone, and especially not
you gotta love
over
Ron.
here.
You gotta love Ron.
Ron is he's a real.
He's one of the rare birds who has managed to stay true to himself, true to the truth, in spite of all the temptations he's faced. And I just think he's a true patriot, and I absolutely love the guy, and I'm very thankful that he's on our team, because he's a quality person.
He helped to throw more gas on the fire, big time. He was there. There was a little bit of a fire there, but he really poured the gas on, and those flames just started shooting up. And of course, actually, because Barry Soetoro was falsely elected to office. More people have become awakened, have decided that there's something really wrong with our entire system, and it's amazing because I'm not going to mention who, but somebody in my family, they kind of doubted me for years. Of course, I know we all have people like that in our families, right? They doubt you for years.
Sure.
And And you know, back in the '90s, I was you know, going to people, my family that I loved and I cared about. I said, look, you need to take it, if you're investing in the stock market, you need to take at least half of that portfolio and go and buy gold and silver coin. Back in the '90s,
Sure.
and only one person listened to me. That was my sister.
Yeah.
And now she loves me because now, you know, she has made a ton. Her and her husband have made a
Right.
fortune.
Right.
Back then they paid 200 and change for gold per ounce, and now what's it to, 1,000 or more?
Wow.
And did you see, actually, gold has gone up $55 in the last 3 days?
Oh, has it really?
Yes.
Folks, listen, if you're listening to us tonight right now, please do not go and invest all your money back in the stock market because it's looking good again, because it's all built on sand. Do you understand? The whole structure is built on sand in an illusion.
Quicksand.
That's right, quicksand. It's an illusion to you. You may make some quick money, but it's all about getting you suckered in so they can steal and rob us even more. Go buy gold and silver coin. I'm going to tell you right now, that's where the true profits come in. You know, we were on a gold and silver. Oh, here I go again on the Federal Reserve thing, right? I'm backing off. I'm sorry. I'm going back.
We're going to get to that next week. Then.
Anyway, Richard, you sent me over an email. I think it was last night, was it? And you said, Dan, or then he called me, you know, and he said, Dan, you've got to see this email I just sent you. Why don't you explain what that email contained?
Okay, well, what it is it's about a Massachusetts bill that was passed through the Massachusetts Senate, that they're using this as a blueprint for the rest of the states. And what it is, pandemic bill allows health authorities to enter homes and detain without a warrant. So basically what they're talking about is that this is in response to the swine flu. And what they're saying is that they could just very easily, if they suspect that you have the swine flu vaccine, I mean not the vaccine, but if you have the swine flu itself, that they could just come into your home without a warrant and detain you or take you away from your home without any authority whatsoever.
And this is in Massachusetts,
This
correct?
is in Massachusetts, but it is actually right now, and I'll get to it, just give me 1 second.
While you're looking for that, I'm just going to jump in here real quick. By the way, folks, this is, it's called the Massachusetts Pandemic Response Bill. Pandemic Response Bill 2028 was passed by the Massachusetts State Senate on April 28th and is now awaiting approval in the House. Here's some of the things that it talks about on here, and were you going to cover some of that?
Yeah, I was,
Okay,
but what I was going to
ahead.
say, you were asking, is this just strictly in Massachusetts, and the answer on that is no.
No, right.
According to the CDC, the following states have implemented legal actions in response to the H1N1 virus: Florida, Iowa, Massachusetts, North Carolina, and Washington. In addition, governors and health commissioners in the following states have declared a state emergency since April following concerns about the H1N1 virus: California, Florida, Iowa, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Nebraska, New York, Ohio, Texas, Virginia, and Wisconsin. Now, that's saying right there that since April, pretty much every single one of these states have been in a known national state of emergency, and they haven't the media hasn't let it out at all.
Yeah.
And they have been slowly sneaking through different agreements and stuff like that through the different states, House and Senate, without anybody knowing. And it's a scary situation because, which I'm sure we'll get to here in a minute, but it's not good. I mean, there's a number of different agreements which actually a lot of the other states are going to implement that are actually being started right here in Florida, which we'll probably get to. I'll just let Dan kind of go.
I just wanted to, adding to that, I just wanted to read here because, I want the listeners to understand just how draconian these measures are going to be. Now, you just said something really important, that Florida is, folks, under a state of emergency right now. We are under a state of emergency that was filed by Charlie Crist, and so it's going to happen. It's already happened. Now, you have to understand something. When we're under a state of emergency, the Constitution of Florida and the laws and all the statutes that are now here are completely changed because emergency powers are completely different. Okay, no longer do they look at us as no longer having, the Constitution is